One of the most exciting times in the NBA is the trade deadline. Some teams will be having a blowout sale, and other teams will be looking to lose some future assets to ensure a better shot at a title in the year's playoffs. But which teams will be selling and which teams will be buying? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a few teams that we think will be dominating the NBA rumor mill this trade deadline. Don't go anywhere, because you don't want to miss a second of this video. It's been quite some time since the Chicago Bulls have been the number one seed in the East, but they have worked hard to get to where they are. The East is loaded with top-heavy teams like the Brooklyn Nets and the former NBA champs, the Milwaukee Bucks. So what would make Chicago want to give up their future assets to battle for a title this year? Well, for starters, Bulls star DeMar DeRozan's 32 years old, which means that his prime is past him and his competitive years are starting to slip away. The Bulls won't have DeMar in his current state for very much longer, so wasting these years for DeMar would do no good for the Bulls. Additionally, the Bulls' path to the finals has never looked as clear as it does right now. The Nets have lost superstar Kevin Durant for at least the next month, possibly longer, and on top of that, Kyrie Irving still has decided to not get vaccinated, which keeps him from playing games in New York. The Nets have never been this beatable, and with the Bulls doing as good as they are, they need to take advantage of the Nets' misfortune. On top of the Nets being littered with injuries, the Bucks still have no idea when Brook Lopez will be healthy enough to play at 100%, which only helps the Bulls even more. The potential two top seeds in the East not based in Chicago have never been in a worse position, meaning that the Bulls can easily take advantage of this and trade to improve their team to make their team even stronger. Moreover, the stars have never aligned this well for the Bulls, as nobody in their position has nearly as much trade capital as them. The Bulls have 2020's fourth overall selection, Patrick Williams, as a trade chip due to his untimely season-ending wrist surgery. His upside's incredibly high, and his potential to reach stardom in the NBA is definitely there. However, by the time Williams is ready to help push this Bulls team to a championship, DeMar and Nikola Vucevic will both be long past their prime, which means that in the big picture, Williams realistically won't be able to be a part of a Bulls championship anytime soon. If the Nets and the Bucks were at full strength, then Williams might be more valuable for the Bulls. But with the path to the championship in the East being this wide open, there's no better time for the Bulls to take their shot and improve via trade at this year's February 10th trade deadline. While the Blazers have seen some success over the past few seasons, there is virtually no way they won't be selling at this year's deadline. The Blazers currently have an 18-26 record, which puts them 10th in the West and 22 overall in the NBA. While the Blazers do currently sit in the last spot eligible for the new play-in tournament, it doesn't take an expert to see that the Blazers are not exactly in any position to compete for a championship. There have been rumors for the past few years that superstar Damian Lillard has been on the trade block, and this year, more than any, could see Dame pack his bags for a new destination. This year's NBA deadline doesn't have a big batch of eligible sellers, but it does have some high-value targets that essentially any competitor would want, and Dame's a prime example. Which team in the NBA wouldn't want Dame on their squad, especially if they are trying to find that missing piece that will send their team over the edge? The Blazers will have no shortage of callers come February 10th for Dame, but also any of their many other elite trade pieces like Norman Powell, Yusuf Nurkic, and Robert Covington, which will only help the Blazers dominate the rumor mill as sellers more than almost any other squad. The Pacers, like the Blazers, will most likely be sellers at the deadline. However, the Pacers are in a much worse spot than the Blazers. Unlike the Blazers, the Pacers are not in a play-in position, meaning they have almost nothing holding them back from completely selling the farm. The Pacers have a 16-29 record, which puts them 13th in the East and 26th overall in the NBA. The Pacers may not have a piece like Dame to offer up in terms of trade pieces, but they do have a positional advantage that does allow them to give virtually any team in the league whatever piece they want at any position. Karis LeVert, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner, just to name a few, are all amazingly valuable pieces that could help any of the playoff teams get instantly stronger. The Pacers are in no position to win anytime soon, and this trade deadline would be a great opportunity for them to bulk up on draft picks and prospects in order to speed up their retooling process. While the Pacers may not have the name recognition like the Blazers do with Damian Lillard, they do have strong positional pieces that will almost certainly make them dominate the rumor mill on February 10th. Next up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Here we go. The Thunder have not been in a position to win since they had Kevin Durant on their roster, but now it may finally be time for them to turn it around. While they obviously still aren't there yet, it appears as though they are ready to start the rise to the top sooner rather than later. The Thunder have done an impressive job building their team with homegrown talent, using a high volume of draft picks, and the amazing part is the Thunder still have a plethora of picks left in their possession. The Thunder have a flabbergasting 17 picks over the course of the next 7 drafts and happen to be sitting 14th in the West and 27th overall in the NBA. So I'm sure some of you are wondering, why would we put the Thunder in the buyer section? Well, let me explain. The Thunder are still still 1 or 2 years away from flipping the switch and becoming contenders in the NBA, but they are currently below the cap floor. This means that the Thunder could distribute the difference amongst their already rostered players, or they could use their incredible draft capital and move some picks for some helpful pieces that would speed up the rebuild while also helping the Thunder reach the draft floor before the end of the season. Even when a player is acquired in the middle of the season, their full cap hits what appears on the books, even though the team only pays the remaining amount on the contract in real dollars. This helps teams like the Thunder hit the cap floor without having to actually break the bank. Something that also makes the Thunder unique to this season's trade deadline is they have a roster spot open, which means they could easily absorb a roster player in a lopsided trade. Moreover, it seems likely that even with 17 picks in the next 7 drafts, I would not be surprised if the Thunder end up with many more come February 10th. The Thunder are in the most unique position in the league because they are literally the only team in the league to have the total freedom to do whatever they want. They have the roster spots, the cap space, and the draft capital to literally be a part of any trade in the league with literally any team in the league. They have the assets to outbid any team in any trade, and they also have the room to absorb players in any lopsided trade. And they have the cap space to absorb literally any contract in the league. So although the Thunder may not be buyers in the traditional sense, they can literally buy any asset in the league whether they choose to or not. This means that I literally guarantee you that the Thunder's phone will be ringing off the hook come February 10th because every team's going to have some sort of deal they want to get done, and the easiest trade partner is going to be the Thunder. But I guess all will be revealed when the trade deadline finally comes upon us later this year. And that's all we have for you guys today on the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in. What do you think's going to happen come trade deadline day? Who do you think could be buyers or sellers come this trade deadline? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel with the bell rung in order to ensure that you don't miss a new upload on the channel. Thank you all once again, and we'll see you in the next video.